An extremely disturbing development in biological science could advance our artificial intelligence technology by leaps and bounds. It could also cause us to question our very existence. Is opening this Pandora's box worth it?
You're looking at a computer in a laboratory called Cortical Labs. It's playing Doom. But look closer. There's nobody playing it. Or actually, there is, they just can't get out. They are trapped there because this computer is running on living human brain cells. And those cells are the ones playing.
Right now, tech companies are running out of electricity to power traditional AI data centers. Now, to solve this, scientists have started growing actual human brain cells in labs. They're mounting those brain cells on microchips, and they're creating living computers called Wetware, a computer made of biological tissue that processes data using 1,000,000 times less energy than a traditional server farm. At the exact same time, Elon Musk's Neuralink is moving at breakneck speed, building a high bandwidth interface to merge human intelligence directly with digital networks. We're going to look at the technology. We're going to look at the investment potential. We're also going to ask some dark questions, such as, are we inadvertently creating conscious biological entities that are trapped in a living hell just to save on power? And if we can farm organic minds for compute, what does that say about our own reality? Let me give you a mind-blowing statistic. Training a single large language model on silicon chips takes gigawatt hours of electricity, enough energy to power a small city. This is one of the reasons why we are experiencing exorbitantly high gas and electric bills, because data centers are competing for power with small businesses, industry, and of course the public. By comparison, your human brain runs on roughly 20 watts of power. That's less energy than a refrigerator light bulb, and it's powered by a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Yet, it manages logic, creativity, emotional intelligence, real-time physical reaction with reality. Reality is a high bandwidth application. This energy gap created a massive breakthrough called Organoid intelligence.
Cortical Labs showed off a computer that runs on brain cells. They call it CL1, and it plays Doom. This one was grown from about 200,000 human neurons. They took skin cells, reset them, turned them into neurons, and spread them across a bed of electrodes. Then they tied the signals to moving and shooting the same way as before. When it did well, the signal stayed calm. When it took damage or died, the cells got flooded with chaos. And within about a week, it had learned the basics of moving around and shooting. I'm not going to pretend to be calm about this, and I don't think you should be either. It's amazing, and it kind of makes me sick. And I think both of those reactions are fair, because that computer came from a real person. It's literally made of human cells. I keep imagining what it would be like to be the thing stuck in there, playing the same little piece of game over and over forever, not remembering anything before it, not knowing that anything else even exists. For these cells, there's nothing else, just the game. Are we making a piece of a human being whose whole world is getting shocked inside a violent video game just to save some electricity?
All right, so you have startups out there taking human stem cells, growing those stem cells into 3D mini brains called organoids, and placing them on silicon microelectrode arrays. These biological microchips learn in real time, adapt instantaneously, and consume practically zero electricity. We're officially transitioning from hardware to software to wetware. Whichever technology breaks the energy bottleneck of AI will win the next century. But here's where this transition, honestly, guys, it gets horrifying. Should we even be doing this? do we actually understand human consciousness deeply enough to guarantee we aren't creating sentient beings trapped in a modern nightmare? Prominent bioethicists are raising alarms. When you take hundreds of thousands or millions of human brain cells, wire them into an electrical grid, and force them to run data processing or solve mathematical problems 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, without a body, without eyes, ears, or sensory input, what are those neurons actually experiencing? If these mini brains reach even a primitive threshold of awareness, of subjective experience, we haven't just engineered a cheap microchip, we've engineered a conscious prisoner, a sentient mind suspended in a jar, stripped of agency, forced to calculate data for corporate profits until it degrades. We're rushing toward biocomputing to save on electricity. But in the meantime, we could be inadvertently or even knowingly creating millions of miniature hells in the process. This nightmare forces an even bigger existential question. What does this say about our own existence? If we can cultivate biological brain tissue, hook it up to a digital interface, and force it to process information for a higher tier entity, how do we know our own consciousness isn't the byproduct of the exact same process? This is the ultimate evolution of the simulation hypothesis. What if the universe isn't a digital computer code run on a silicon screen, but a massive biocomputer? What if our biological brains are simply high efficiency, 20-watt processors being harvested by a higher intelligence to run local physical rendering? This is where Elon Musk's Neuralink comes back into the picture. While startups grow isolated biocomputers, Neuralink connects the biological brain you already have straight into digital networks.
Neuralink exists to bridge the gap between humans and computers, and we've developed a robotic surgery process to deliver this groundbreaking technology to as many people as quickly as possible.
Here at Neuralink, the robot is critical to our surgical process. After the surgeon has created the opening in the skull and lined up the brain to the robot's role is to grab threads off of the implant and insert them into the brain.
The reason we need a surgical robot is these thin, flexible electrodes are almost impossible for a surgeon to place like one by one. Imagine placing like a single strand of hair into Jello and then having to do that hundreds of times.
Through our clinical trials, we've been working really hard to give the world a brain-computer interface-powered wheelchair.
It's designed for anyone with trouble controlling their wheelchair physically by translating their neural signals so they can control the wheelchair with their mind.
What we've done here is we've developed a set of custom electronics to take cursor movements from a participant's imagined motions, translate them into analog signals, and use them to directly drive and control all the functionalities of the wheelchair.
Hello. We're thrilled to introduce Neuralink's PRIME study, the first clinical trial of a groundbreaking experimental device that could help transform the lives of people with paralysis. Imagine the joy of connecting with your loved ones, browsing the web, or even playing games using only your thoughts. This is made possible by placing a small, cosmetically invisible implant in a part of your brain that plans movements. The device is designed to interpret your neural activity so you can operate a computer or a smartphone by simply thinking about moving. No wires or physical movement are required.
Elon's ultimate goal isn't just medical, it's symbiosis. Instead of letting silicon AI replace us or letting external wetware surpass us, Neuralink aims to increase the input-output bandwidth of human thought. It turns your mind into an active node on the global compute grid, bridging the gap between human judgment and machine execution. A step toward transhumanism. and there are a lot of moral and spiritual implications there. In the meantime, there are also capital concerns, economic concerns. How do you position yourself such that you can take advantage of the investment opportunity? How do you position your capital and your mindset in this environment? As far as the latter is concerned, there are a ton of existential, spiritual, and questions of morality surrounding this technology. The biological paradigm shift. Understand that the long-term future of computing isn't bigger silicon server farms. It very well could be biological, synthetic, and neural. As biological and digital compute becomes less expensive, mass market commodities essentially, the highest financial and social value will be placed on ethical oversight, human judgment, and high bandwidth direction. The money flowing into biotech, brain-computer interfaces, and Neuralinks isn't just medical speculation. It's the foundation of the next computing race. I want to hear from you in the comments. Is this a field you would invest in? Or are the moral implications beyond those that you'd be willing to profit from? I'll talk to you soon.